with another Disventure Camp review. I promised and I delivered. I am going to review every episode of Disventure Camp fans versus favorites. So we're gonna go on to episode 2. I think I have a lot less to say about this episode than episode 1. I think one of the reasons is this episode was a lot more favorite. It was a lot more favorite focused. Like out of all the characters, the favorites I think got more screen time. So because of that, I'm going to talk about the fans first, cause there's a lot less to talk about there. I'm gonna start. Aubrey didn't really do much. Finn didn't do much. Sam didn't do much. Bruno didn't do much besides the ending, and I'm gonna talk about the ending a little later. So, yeah, Mao. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I still enjoyed him. He was a pretty fun character. He's still my second favorite character in the show. Ernesto, yeah, he was pretty fine. I like how he's actually getting along with his team and he's not just being an obvious first boot or an obvious early boot. I kind of like how he's actually going to do something now. Evie didn't do much. Ren, quietly my favorite character, so my favorite fan so far. Ren fighting the immunity idol was pretty cool. I'm wondering, what they're gonna do with that. Ren and Ernesto, getting along. I think that was pretty cool. That's a pretty fun duo that I want to see go on, because Ernesto's kind of getting higher on my character ranking. I forgot her name. The girl in the middle between Nora and Duna. She didn't really do much this episode. A lot of the fans didn't do much this episode, so I don't have much to say besides from Nora and Duna. I think the whole argument they have was an alright argument. I feel like they're gonna expand that a bit more in later episodes, but I think now it helps them, have something to do besides just just being there, because like they're giving more characters purpose, which I think Disventure Camp does pretty well. I think Disventure Camp is a good show. One of the reasons why is because they give like every character something to do, like at least a little thing to do. Which is why I like Disventure Camp, because it always feels like every character has like something to do and isn't just there because they need to fill a character slot. But now we're gonna move on to the favorites, which I have a lot more to say about. And like Tom, no, he was alright. He didn't do much. Gabby didn't really do much. Lake didn't do much. Rosa, I'm gonna talk about Aiden later during the elimination ceremony. And if you watch the episode, you know why. I probably should put a spoiler warning here more early on. Well, I mean, this is an episode reviewing the episode, so yeah. During the elimination, I'm gonna talk about it later. Rosa, I think Rosa, the idea that they're going for Rosa is that she's washed. She's not as good as she was, like back then. And I think it's an alright arc. That she's not as good as the game than everybody else, and it helps her and Anastasia have something to do, which I like. Natalia, I think Natalia had an alright episode. She was pretty fun this episode. She didn't really do much, but she was still kind of important. Spencer was alright. I think him fighting the squirrel was pretty good. And Ali, Benji, I like their relationship still. I like how they're kind of in the power play here, because usually Ali and Benji really aren't in a power position. So I think it's actually pretty interesting that now this season they're kind of like the two that decide to vote this round. And then Fiore and Alec, probably still one of my most liked duos in the show. And yeah, the fans had a lot more screen time, but it mostly comes down to the elimination. So not the elimination, obviously, and this is something I've been talking about, the favorite go to elimination. Obviously, the whole episode is kind of like, it's kind of obvious when the whole episode was like, there's the sign alliance, which is like right here on the screen: Tom, Gabby, Rosa, Lake, and Aiden. And then the other alliance, I wouldn't call it the villains alliance, because it's really not the villains alliance. It's I'm just gonna call it the other alliance, which is like Alec and Fiore, and it's them basically trying not to get eliminated. It's pretty obvious the fan favorites are gonna lose this episode, because the whole episode has been them talking about the vote, so it's kind of obvious they're gonna lose. But yeah, besides from that, Ali and Benji flip, and well, I wouldn't say flip, but they just don't vote with the sign line, which yes, yeah, technically that is flipping. But yeah, it gets Aiden eliminated in quotation marks. We'll talk about that a little later. And I'm wondering how the team dynamics is gonna go on now, because yeah, I'm gonna talk about it. Aiden doesn't get eliminated. Instead, he gets swapped over to the other team, and in the end credits, it shows that he chose Bruno to swap over to the fan favorites team. So I'm wondering how that's gonna play. I would have preferred that it was more than just one character getting swapped over. I would have preferred that. This is what I would have preferred. I would have preferred that, like, the team swap later on in the game, like after a little while of us getting to know the team, like fans' favorites, they switch the teams up. Anyway, overall, I still kind of enjoyed this episode. I think episode 1's slightly better, but yeah, I'm still kind of excited what they're gonna do going forward. And after that, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.